Hello and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers Lore. Today we're going to talk about none other than Koragg, the Night Wolf. Now, if you've not met this character before, he is one of the main antagonists of the Rangers, most of the series of Mystic Force. He is quite a powerhouse to handle. He is a Dark Knight, a Morlock, and a legendary warrior to boot, and shows up immediately in the most fearsome manner possible just after Earthquake releases him from the underworld. His first line upon release is, "Yes, after all these years, I'm free." Very similar to Rita's line of going, "After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth." So, pretty interesting there that he has that same type of line, but he's not like Rita. He's not kind of like a character, dim-witted fool who doesn't have really, her plans are always going to go awry. His plans tend to go pretty well, and he immediately marks it out. So the Rangers have not yet got their powers yet. They're not even really showing what a Power Ranger is at this point, and they tend to go on from there. This is when suddenly they are attacked by Koragg, the Night Wolf. He basically calls them out to fight, and they kind of put up their fists but don't know what the heck is going on at this point. Udana shows up in her Mystic White Ranger form and does battle against him, and immediately gets her butt kicked, instantly defeated, and has her staff stolen from her, and she's no longer a ranger. Now, at this point, he has them dead to rights. There's no way they could survive against him. He'd just do one more Night Wolf blast, and they'd be dead. But instead, he sheaths his sword, turns around, takes his staff, and goes, "You need to become more powerful. I will not kill the weak." And just walks away, and just teleports away, leaving there going, "What the heck just happened?" That is Koragg. His entrance is flawless, and his skill is legendary. But however, as much as legendary he is, Udana doesn't know who the heck this guy is. She knows most of the enemies of the Master, or the allies of the Master per se, that she fought 20 years ago. She lost her husband to the trapping spell, as well as her own sister. Now, what goes on here, we don't know. For a long period of time, we just have Koragg being a very honorable knight, fighting against the Rangers constantly, one right after the other, not really losing a battle. If his plans go awry, it's because the monsters either get up or something else happens, or the Rangers just get a new spell and unlock some new ability and it pushes him back. But they never outright defeat him until essentially Nick is able to conquer the horse Catastros and is able to use it in Megazord form. Immediately after that, Koragg goes, No, that's mine. I let you borrow it, whatever." Now, in several different times, Koragg works with the Rangers to basically stop something or a bad guy that he does not believe is very honorable, or they found that they cheated. Now, he doesn't exactly work with them ally directly, but he basically just kind of silently watches them and roots them on, and then doesn't really interfere on the side of evil. He kind of just watches and goes "That's why you lost, because you weren't honorable." Now, this entire time we're going what is this guy doing? He's so cool. Look at his armor. It's purple and silver and gold, and he's got a wicked sword and shield. He shoots out blasts like they're running out of style, essentially. Well, we don't really know for a long time. Now, it isn't until, essentially, we start to notice that his allies have only basically start calling him out. What's going on here? What is your sense of loyalty here? Are you loyal to the Master, or are you loyal to yourself? Because you're not helping here. You're not stopping the Rangers. You could have killed them several times over. You could have killed Nick 30 million times at this point, and he's the lead Ranger. You kill the Red Ranger, they're all fall apart. They'll all crumble. Well, he kind of goes "I am loyal to the Master. Do not question my loyalty." Blah 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 blah. He has his magic stolen from him at one point by Imperius, and essentially goes, "Here, you can have it, Necroli." And Necroli kind of uses his never had magic before and basically uses magic whenever. Even at this point, even without magic, he is still a trained hand-to-hand combat soldier and can hold his own. He doesn't have his magical blasts or his magical abilities anymore, but he can still fight sword and shield with the best of man. A master swordsman, definitely. Well, eventually, when Dark Wish does happen, a 3-part series where essentially evil Imperius kidnaps the genie Gingy and forces him to make a wish that so the Power Rangers never existed, Koragg isn't affected as per se, and realizes that essentially the Imperius cheated. In his mind, Imperius cheated, and goes, no, that's not how we win. If we're going to win by true conquest, not by going, we wish it to happen. That's called cheating. And even the Rangers are going like, what are you talking about? Because why does the Rangers know about this? Well, he talks to them and convinces them to basically go talk to the council. They can convince the council to change this back, and he believes in them. Now, that's the weirdest thing that I've ever seen in it as a villain going, I believe in you, and they're going, why don't you just kill us? I don't understand your motives. And he goes like, you don't understand my motives. I don't cheat. And they go, what? Exactly. A force of darkness that does not cheat. So things go on. The Rangers are able to get their powers back and prove themselves even more and unlock a new ability that even Koragg goes, very interesting. At this same point, essentially the Guardians of Magic itself look at this and see Koragg and go like, oh, he's a noble knight, and make certain comments about him. And it's pretty interesting going on there, like going, what's going on with that? But like even they're going like, oh, he's such a powerful warrior himself. And we still don't know exactly why. Why does everyone know this guy, but we don't know who he is? He doesn't take off his mask ever, as far as you're aware. Well, things go on, and it's later revealed in a long battle that Koragg is none other than the mighty wizard Lianbo, who had been pulled down in the underworld after sealing it, along with Claire's sister who had died. Not Claire's sister, I'm sorry, Udana's sister who had died, Claire's mother. And she dies, he gets pulled down in the underworld, and it's assumed that he's dead as well. Well, no, he is corrupted by the Master into Koragg, the Night Wolf. Now, Lianbo has very similar armor to Koragg. It's red, and he has a mystical form where it's very like genie-like. It's very flame Jin-like. If you like, I'll post it up here in a few pictures. You'll see it, but it's hard to describe exactly what it's like. But that's his other form, rather than the red armored Koragg, essentially. Now, Koragg is not just his armor per se. I said red armor Koragg because it's easier to say, but Koragg is his dark, corrupted side. It still has all his honor and his basically all the nobility that is Lianbo, but covered in the force of evil that is Koragg himself. So in many ways, Koragg is the shell, and Lianbo is the heart and soul, but he cannot fully talk. He can only speak through his actions, as in his honorable actions. Eventually, Koragg would be basically go to the side of good and help his son and contain the Master, so that his son doesn't have to deal with this anymore. Eventually, the Master would break free, and he would be able to be with his family once more. However, a new Koragg would be born because of this, and Nick would be found by none other than the Master himself and be corrupted into the second Koragg, who is just as powerful, if not more. He has a new attack, a new signature attack, that he is empowered with the power of the Dark Master himself, cutting him nearly his father down and destroying him, filling him full of hatred, playing on that hatred that his father had abandoned him for all these years, and his family had abandoned him. So what was the point of coming back? There's only one person who's ever truly given him power, and that is the Master. Now, eventually, Nick would be defeated and help by none other than his father, teaching him how to resist the dark magic of the Master, and he would become good again, becoming the Red Mystic Ranger once more, and banishing Koragg again to the darkness. Now, Koragg is very similar to the villain that would be none other than Zanaku. If you guys don't know who Zanaku is, he is from Wild Force, came out the original run of that. A very knight-like character as well. Kind of had a sense of honor as well, being that there was a force of good inside of him that was teaching him all these different things, and he had this weird sense of instinct. I don't know what I was saying there. But it's very similar lines that can be drawn there, except for in many ways Zanaku is still around, and is not a force for evil per se. He never truly was. He was just confused and lonely. Now, Koragg is a force of evil. He's just a corrupted version of a ranger or a knight per se that would basically be taking over. Now, at this point, we can confirm that Koragg is lost and destroyed when the Master is destroyed, but it is thought that you could bring him back in Beast Morphers when he is one of the candidates to be brought back by Scrozzle. Now, Scrozzle put him in as hey, we could bring back this along with Astronema, Lord Zed, Psycho Red, and King Mundo, but all those were thrown out because essentially Lord Zed, Astronema, and Koragg were all turned good eventually, but also because Lord Zed was kicked out because essentially he could betray his new master, which would be Evox, and probably would in a heartbeat. King Mondo kind of failed, wasn't considered a good one, and Psycho Red was too hot to handle. He was literally would fly off the pants of his seat and led to his own destruction multiple times because he just couldn't control his own anger. Now Koragg, and they said they wouldn't bring Koragg back because he turned good. In truth, he didn't turn good, especially when it went over Nick and Alienbo there. I would say that he did not turn good at all. He could have been the Knight of Darkness, and without Lianbo or Nick to hold him back, he would have been fantastic as a villain to be brought back. If you think about it, so Nick didn't have the honor that Lianbo did, and Nick was willing to destroy an entire village that was completely defenseless, and he was Koragg at the time. So like, throw out that thing that he's turned good. No, Koragg is essentially the personification of the evil knight and the power of the master himself. I thought that you'd bring that back. In many ways, you'd bring back the master, but that'd be pretty awesome. I don't know what do you guys think? Am I correct in that argument? Tell me if you guys think so too. Is Koragg just the shell, or is he more of Lianbo and Nick? Like, would he be brought back as good? I don't think so, but if so, tell me that I'm wrong. Now, Koragg has a lot of different abilities. He's a knight, so he's got his armor, he's got his sword and shield, his extreme powers. He's also a master magician. Now, not like just normal magician, I mean like full-on wizard himself. He is a dark sorcerer. He's able to grow up himself, merge with a Zord that is Catastros, become the Centaurus Megazord and Centaurus Wolf Megazord. He's able to go against the Rangers several different times in that and defeat them nearly every single time, except for once or twice. He has near invulnerability with his shield, and he basically is able to defy the logic of magic itself sometimes by just casting some crazy spells. Now, he's also able to do several different attacks with his enhancing of his sword with dark magic, as well as his wolf attack through the magical eye in his shield. And he can call upon Catastros himself, which is again probably just a magical horse that was once Lianbo's, but corrupted by the Dark Master himself. So that is Lianbo, and that is Koragg. Sorry, that is not Lianbo. Lianbo's story is far different, and we'll have to talk about another video about him because we're talking about the suit that is Koragg. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one, and may the power protect you always. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe at the end of this video. All your likes help me out, and all your watchers do too. Thank you very much, guys. I really like to discuss with you guys what your topics are. May the power protect you always.